Hi, guys. Welcome in. This is Kidz Korner brought to you from Somerset First United Methodist Church's virtual campus. I'm your host tonight, Miss Bev. Some of you know me as Wabbit's mom. I'll answer to both because I am both of those things. Okay, good. Apparently the sound's working. We have chat back this week. My tech guru figured it out. She's so good to come over and figure out all my problems for me. So thank you so much for that, Joe. I appreciate it. Um, Joanna keeps my tech rolling and Lisa keeps my media going. And so, I've got my whole team here to help me. So I appreciate them so much. We are the Kidz Korner Story Hours Summer Edition. We're going to be kind of like your virtual vacation Bible school. Each week we will be doing a story, a scripture, a song, a couple of songs, a book, and a craft. So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, hang around with for the next hour. We try to get out exactly at an hour as close as we can because I know that during school year, littles have to go to bed. Now, during the summer, I don't know if we go to bed quite as early, but I try to get us out of here within an hour. We're going to be meeting on Tuesday nights at 6:30 for the whole month of June. Of course, June's almost over. And then we'll end on July 21st. So we've probably got about 4 more weeks, I'm thinking. Maybe 3, 4 more weeks. But we'll end on the last summer edition will be July 21st. All right. Before we start our lesson, I'm going to tell you what we're going to need. We are going to need to make our craft tonight. So while I'm doing the scripture and the I'm going to do the scripture and the story and so on. So we're going to need blue paper, many kinds, construction paper, tissue paper, a paper towel colored with blue marker. You're going to need anything that you can make water with. We're going to make a little bag of water to use in our story today. A cup of sand, cornmeal, or flour. I'm using flour because it's what I had in my freezer. A shallow box or a baking dish. I'm using a box lid. And when I flip the camera back, you're probably going to see my flour and part of my box lid sitting over there. We're going to make a dessert today because we're going to kind of act out our story today. We're going to make we need a brown paper lunch bag. We're going to make a water bag out of that, out of our story today. And then we're going to use our flour, our sand, whatever you use to walk in the desert and kind of tell our story with. We're going to need scissors, markers, tape, and a pencil. And so those are the things that you're going to need for our supplies today. And thank you, Miss Lisa, for making this beautiful graphic for us. She does all the beautiful graphics and the media for us. Well, I tilted it down, but I tilted it down too much. I'm fighting with my camera today. Is that better? Okay, that should be better. Y'all can see my flour over here. I got my dessert started sitting over here. Okay, so here we go. I think that must be better. Hello, Oscar. He's my buddy. He likes to listen to me sing. Okay, so is the camera better? I got a message saying I need to move it just a little bit. I fight with it on the regular because I want it to show me, but I don't want it to show everything in the room either. So I fight with it on the regular. I think I had it tilted up trying to show part of my decor behind me. I still don't like that. Let me give it just a hair more. Okay, I hope that'll work. We're going to leave it there. Okay. That look better? Yes, better. Okay, good deal. I was trying to show, I know ways, and I had to tilt it. I was trying to show my summer decor back there, my little flip-flop that says summer party on it. I was trying to show that, I think is why I tilted it down. Okay, here we go. Our lesson this week, and let me flop this over here where I need to flop it. I keep forgetting I have to click all these buttons. Joanna keeps trying to remind me that I have lots of buttons that I have to click to do this. There we go. Okay, so our scripture this week is Genesis 21, 8 through 21. Isaac grew and became old enough to eat food, and at that time Abraham gave a great feast. But Sarah saw Ishmael making fun of Isaac. Ishmael was the son of Abraham by Hagar, Sarah's Egyptian slave. So Sarah said to Abraham, "Throw out this slave woman and her son. When we die, our son Isaac will inherit everything we have. I don't want her son to inherit any of our things." That wasn't very nice of her, was it? This troubled Abraham very much because Ishmael was also his son. But God said to Abraham, "Don't be troubled about the boy and the slave woman. Do whatever Sarah tells you. The descendants I promised you will be from Isaac. I will also make descendants of Ishmael into a great nation. I will do this because he is your son too." Early the next morning, Abraham took some food and a leather bag full of water. Aha, a leather bag full of water. Remember I said we were going to make a bag? We're going to make a water bag, yes. And a leather bag full of water, and he gave them to Hagar, and he sent her away. Hagar carried these things and her son, and she went out and wandered in the desert of Beersheba. Later, all the water was gone from her bag. And I mean, in the desert, you're going to get thirsty, right? It's really dusty and sandy and hot. So Hagar put her son under a bush. Then she went away a short distance and sat down and thought, "My son will die, and I cannot watch it happen." She sat there and she began to cry. God heard the boy crying, and God's angel called to Hagar from heaven and said, "What is wrong, Hagar? Don't be afraid. God has heard the boy crying there," and he held the boy up. God has heard the boy crying there. Help the boy up. Take him by the hand, and I will make his descendants into a great nation. Then God showed Hagar a well of water. So she went to the well and filled her bag with water, and then she gave the boy a drink. God was with the boy as he grew up. Ishmael lived in the desert. He learned to shoot with a bow very well, and he lived in the desert of Paran. His mother found a wife for him in Egypt. So that is our scripture today. Okay, so now I have a story to go with our scripture. This is called The Big Desert Adventure. God Hears Us. I really believe that. And in fact, I know I really believe that. Do you believe that? That God really hears us? I believe that he really does. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Today we are diving into a true story from the Bible about a mom named Hagar, her son Ishmael, and a massive desert adventure. Have you ever felt lonely? Or thought nobody was listening to you? Well, today's story reminds us that God hears us. So let's check it out. Our story starts with a giant celebration. Abraham and Sarah's little boy Isaac was growing up, so they threw a huge feast with lots of yummy food. Everyone was happy. Well, almost everyone. Abraham had another son named Ishmael. Ishmael was older, and during the party, Sarah saw Ishmael making fun of little Isaac. It wasn't very kind. We shouldn't make fun of people, should we? That isn't a kind thing to do. No, it's not. Sarah got very upset. She went to Abraham and said, "I do not want Ishmael and his mom Hagar to live here anymore. You need to send them away." Now, show me your best worried face. I think that maybe that's scary, but I'd be worried. That's exactly how Abraham felt. He was worried because he loved Ishmael. He was his son too, and he didn't want him to leave. But that night, God spoke to Abraham and said, "Don't worry, Abraham. Do what Sarah asks. I promise I will take care of Ishmael and make his family into a great nation too." Early the next morning, Abraham packed some food in a bag. He packed some food and a leather bag of water, and he gave them to Hagar. He said goodbye to Hagar, and Hagar and Ishmael started walking. They walked and walked until they were deep in the desert of Beersheba. Let's pretend we're walking through a super hot desert. Now, we're going to do that in our craft today. We're going to use our desert that I'm using a box lid for mine. You could use a small baking dish, a small bowl, but I'm using a box lid for my desert. We're going to walk through that desert in a few minutes and retell the story. We're going to make pieces to go with it. Hagar was worried. I got lost. It's hot in the desert, and it's dusty and it's sandy, and we need lots of water, and before long a scary thing happened. The water bag was empty. There were no water fountains, no grocery stores, no sinks in the desert, and Hagar was worried. She didn't want her son to see her crying, so she sat Ishmael under the shade of a little bush, and then she walked off a little way and sat down on the sand and started to cry. She felt completely alone. But guess what? They were not alone. Even though Hagar was crying quietly, God heard Ishmael crying too. Suddenly a bright angel called out from heaven, "What's wrong, Hagar? Don't be afraid. God has heard the boy crying. Go pick him up and hold his hand. I'm going to make him to a great nation." Then God did something amazing. He opened Hagar's eyes, and right there in the dry desert, she saw a well full of fresh, cool water. We're also going to make a well tonight. We've got lots of pieces tonight. Tonight's craft is involved. Lots of little pieces that we're going to make. Hagar ran to the well and filled up her leather bag and gave Ishmael a big drink. They were saved. God kept his promise. He stayed with Ishmael as he grew up in the desert. Ishmael became a super talented archer. That means he was good with a bow and arrow. He grew up strong. His mom found him a nice wife from Egypt, and they started a big, wonderful family. Wow, that was an incredible rescue. Hagar and Ishmael thought they were by themselves in that great big dry desert, but God was watching over them the entire time. Let's remember that's our big ideal for today. No matter where we are, how lonely we feel, God hears us when we cry out to him. That's our big ideal. So remember that when you are thinking that you are alone or that you're not being seen, God hears us and he sees us. Let's close our eyes and pray together. Dear God, thank you that you'll always hear us, just like you looked after Hagar and Ishmael in the desert. Thank you for looking after us every single day. Amen. Okay. Before we do our songs, I'm going to show you that craft list again. And again, thank you, Miss Lisa, for this beautiful graphic that you made us. You're going to need blue paper, many kinds, construction paper, glitter, regular paper towel colored with blue paper. Tissue paper would be really good, wadded up and put in your bag to make water. Sand, cornmeal, or flour to make your desert to walk through. I'm using flour because I had some in the freezer. A shallow box or a baking dish. I'm using a box lid. A brown paper lunch bag. Scissors, markers, tape, and a pencil. And I think we left off the yarn or string. You will need a piece of yarn or string to make your bag with. I don't see that on there. Maybe I'd read over it, but a piece of yarn or string as well. So those are the things that we're going to need for our craft today. Okay, we are going to sing our songs. I have 2 songs for us today. I'm going to sing one and then have a little story to go with the other one before we sing it, okay? So the first one is about Hagar and Ishmael. And I have to hit the right button to make it go over there. There it is. All right, let me drink of water real quick. I've been talking a lot. I'm thirsty. So this one is about Hagar and Ishmael's journey. And again, I've told you this in weeks prior to this. If you want to hear these songs, most of them came right here from YouTube. You just type in Hagar and Ishmael's Journey, it'll pop up. You can find it. It's by Bible Adventures for Kids. I always put the who it belongs to on there so that they get proper credit for the song that we're using. Okay, so this one goes. Under the blazing desert sun, a story of love had just begun. Hagar and Ishmael were walking far, guided by faith, a shining star. With a heavy heart, they stepped away, trusting God to show the way. In the heat, their water ran dry, but they knew he heard their cry. Lift your eyes to the sky so high. God is near, he'll never pass by. When you're lost and feel afraid, his love will shine, his path is made. An angel spoke with a voice so clear, do not worry, God is near. A well of water he provides, hope restored with hearts alive. Lift your eyes to the sky so high. God is near, he'll never pass by. When you're lost and feel afraid, his love will shine, his path is made. Through trials and tears, God will stay. He guides your steps, come one day. Hagar and Ishmael learned that day, God's promises never fade away. So when the desert winds do blow, Where to turn you do not know. Remember Hagar's faithful song. With God's love you'll always belong. Lift your eyes to the sky so high. God is near, he'll never pass by. When you're lost and feel afraid, his love will shine, his path is made. An angel spoke with a voice so clear, do not worry, God is near. A well of water he provides, hope restored with hearts alive. An angel spoke with a voice so clear. And that was Hagar and Ishmael's journey. Okay, I'm glad this sounds good. Very good, very good. My people are giving me messages here. We got the chat back this week. The sound's working. Everything seems to be on track. Okay. So I'm going to sing you another song, but I'm going to tell you a story before I sing you this song. So the song that we're going to sing next is called Elroy. And now I know that sounds funny. I always think of the Jetsons when I say that. Elroy, his son Elroy. But, you know, it's a Hebrew word, and it's spelled like this. E-L-R-O-I, Elroy. And I'm going to tell you a little story where that came from because it ties in with our lesson today. The name Elroy originates from the Hebrew Bible. Let's try that one more time. The name Elroy originates from the Hebrew Bible in Genesis 16:13. Now that's a couple chapters back from where we are today. The God who sees me, or the God of seeing. It's what Elroy means. And it's unique only because this specific title that was used in Scripture, it was bestowed upon God by an Egyptian slave girl named Hagar, the lady in our story today. It wasn't given to him by a prophet, given to God by a prophet or a patriarch. El means strong or mighty one, and Roy comes from the word Ra, which means to gaze or look upon. Ra-ah, R-A apostrophe A-H, means to look upon, to gaze upon, or to see. So the mighty one who sees, the God who sees, is what Elroy means. And the slave girl was named Hagar. She was pregnant. She was fleeing from her mistress who was mean to her. She was alone in the desert and fearful and afraid. And she became the first person in Scripture to give God a name. An angel came to her that time as well. She had ran away from her mistress because her mistress, Sarah, was mean to her. And she had ran away into the desert, and an angel came, God spoke to her. I'm not sure which. I don't have it written down exactly, but someone said to her, you know, God sees you. You're not alone. Thereafter, Hagar used another name to refer to God who had spoken to her. She said, you are the God who sees me. She also said, have I truly seen the one who sees me? That's Genesis 16:13. Verse 13 says, she gave this name to the Lord who spoke to her. You are the God who sees me. For she said, I have now seen the one who sees me. Elroy means God who sees. So those words, Elroy, E-L-R-O-I, Elroy, is the God who sees. So we're going to sing a song now called Elroy. He is Elroy. So let me swap you over here. Okay. He is Elroy, he is Elroy, the God who sees, the God who sees. He is Elroy, he is Elroy, the God who sees, the God who sees. He saw Hagar crying in the desert. He saw Jacob when love had lied. He saw Joseph down inside the pit, and Hannah when she prayed and cried. He is Elroy, he is Elroy, the God who sees, the God who sees. He is Elroy, he is Elroy, The God who sees, the God who sees. He heard Bartimaeus call for mercy. He wept with Mary and Martha too. He saw the good works of Cornelius. He sees me and he sees you. Every tear and every prayer, God will always see and care. Every heart and every need, He is Elroy, yes indeed. He is Elroy, He is Elroy, the God who sees, the God who sees. He is Elroy, He is Elroy, the God who sees, the God who sees. I'm real grateful that Elroy is the God who sees, that God sees us, and He does. All right, so here's what we're going to do. This is the spot in the show program where I normally do the book. But we're going to skip the book for now, and we're going to work on our craft, because our craft has lots of little pieces that we're going to do. If we don't get to the book today, that's okay. I'll read it another day. But I want to make sure that we have time to do all the crafting that we're going to do. If there's time at the end of after we get the craft done, then I'll read you the book then. But I don't want to miss showing you how to draw the pieces to act out this little story that we're going to act out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my mic off for just a second and slide it over here closer to where I'm going to be working in the craft camera. And so then we can start on our craft. So one moment, please. I'm going to put you on the Be Right Back screen so I can move things around. And now we're over at the craft cam. Okay. Miss Lisa, I know you're in here with me. Does the mic sound okay? Have I got it close enough to me? I've been trying to learn to use the mic better. So, oh, he liked that one. I'm so glad Oscar liked that song. Okay, so I've got my desert sitting here, which is literally just a box sieve that I'm going to pour some flour in. But before I do that, I'm going to show you some things we need for our desert. So I'm going to set my desert over out of the way, because we are going to make some things for our desert. And the first thing we're going to make is a bush. And here's my little bush that I made. And I'm going to show you how I made that little bush. And I've got to get my box of supplies over here, because I've got everything in the world over here that I need laying everywhere. So we're going to make the bush first. So this is my little bush. And all I did to make that bush was I took a half a piece of green construction paper. And no, I didn't do that. I folded it this way. So let me get my tape out. And I folded it like that, and I taped it. You can hear my tape thumping on the mic. I hear it through my headphones. Okay, and after I did that, what did I do with my scissors? Now I tape I tape the one we're going to use all the way down. You can do that. And then I just cut slits in the bottom to make it stand up, like you'll see here. I cut the bottom out because I'm going to tape it to my desert. And then at the top, I just took my scissors and I cut little limbs, like little leaf-like things, like that. And then I just pull them down to make my bush. Okay? Does everybody see how to make the... Sorry, see how to make the bush? You just cut these and pull it down. See how I cut all of these, pull it down? Now I'm not going to make a whole one right here on screen, because we've got lots of little things we're going to do today. So I'm not going to make one on the stream today. So first thing let's do is let's put our bush in our desert, because we have to have the bush to act out the story. And let me turn this around where I don't have so much flour yet. I'm going to pour some more flour in my desert. But I'm going to take this down right there, because that's where we're going to put Ishmael under the bush. So I'm going to tape my little, can you see what I'm doing? I'm going to tape the bush down into my desert. Because there's lots of pieces to this week, I tried to do as much ahead as I could so that I could show you everything we're going to do. That won't stick to that, I'm afraid, because of that. I should have not put my flour in first. I should have done this first. But anyway, let's see if I can get the bush taped down enough to stay. It doesn't want to stick with that flour in there. So, word to the wise, don't put your flour in first. Don't put your sand in first, because my bush doesn't want to stay. But I think it will. Let me get one more piece of tape back here. There, that'll hold my bush up. Okay, so now I've got my bush in my desert. That's my little bush. Okay, I'm going to lay my desert out of the way again. And the next thing we're going to make is we're going to make the well. Okay, the well that they find. Now, I had it in my mind. Let me pop over here real quick. Where's my other camera? Y'all, I had it in my mind, and this was a silly thing for me to think, I guess. I had it in my mind that I was going to do like a curved thing with bricks for the well until our pastor preached on this Sunday. I'm using the scriptures he preaches on Sunday for our lessons every week. And he said, it was like a hole of water in the ground. And I thought, well, I can't use that. Then it won't look right. So I thought. So here's what I came up with. Let me go back to the craft camera. I made a well. So here's what I did to make the well. I forget when I turn away you can't hear me. Let me find my paper. You could use gray, you could use black. I'm using brown because I thought a rock and dirt and mud would be brown, so I'm using brown. I took a piece of, this is cardstock because, let me try this. Hang on one second. Okay, now you can see me too. This is cardstock. And I thought it would be better. I tried one with just construction paper, and this is it. And it doesn't stand up very well. The construction paper is flimsy. Now, you can do it. If construction paper is all you have, you can certainly do it with construction paper. But the cardstock stands up better, okay? So here's what I did. I took my scissors and I rounded off the edges like this. To make a great big oval. Let me get rid of that. So I've got a great big oval. And so then what I did was I just started smushing it up to make my well. I'm showing you how to make this. You will have to make a lot of this off stream because it takes time. Some of this stuff will take time to do. These parts are not too hard, but when you go to making your water and stuff, that takes a little longer. Okay, so there's our well. Easy peasy. We just curl the edges up. Now we want some water in our well. See how I've got water in my well? This is what took me so long. This is cut up construction paper, cut up glitter paper, some paper towels I colored with markers. If you have tissue paper, you can use blue tissue paper. If you don't want to go to the trouble cutting it all up, you could put just a big blue piece of paper in there for water. You could color a piece of paper blue and stick it in there. There's many ways you could do water, but I did it with these little pieces because I thought they were cute, you know. So what I did was I took my bottle of glue and I just spread my glue in here, and I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to show you a little bit so you know what to do. And I took my pieces that I have cut up here and I put in my well. And then what sticks to the glue works really well. And then the ones that are on top, I put extra glue on to make them stick. And then I just cover this whole bottom with these pieces. So that's how you make the well. And like I said, if you would rather put a big blue piece of paper, piece of tissue paper, if you'd rather color a piece of white paper and put it in there for the water, you can do that. But I did the little pieces because that's what my instructions told me to do, was the little pieces. So there we go. There is our well. Now, we also need a bag full of water. So I took a small Ziploc bag and I cut up all these pieces of construction paper and so on to make my water. This is going to be my water bag that I pull out of the well and put in my leather bag that we carry, that like Hagar carried. And we're going to make that next. I started out with this big, huge bag, and I thought, it's going to take me forever to fill it up. And I remembered I had these little ones. So we're going to put this little bag of water in our well, because when we tell our story, we'll pull that out and put it in our water bag. So we're going to make our water bag next. So what you need to do to make your water bag, and I'm going to come back to the big camera for just a minute. In biblical times, they carried water in what they called water skins. They were made out of leather or made out of animal skins. So that's what they carried water in. I went on the internet and looked to kind of get an idea of what I should make this look like. And this was the best I could come up with. So you're going to take a lunch bag, a brown lunch bag. And the first thing I want you to do is I want you to open it up, and then I want you to smush it. Y'all thought I lost my mind, right? I haven't lost my mind, I promise. Smush it up and open it up. The reason we do that is we want our brown paper bag to look like a leather bag, because it's going to be our water bag. Now, I'm going to switch you back over here. You're going to take it. I may not be able to do this. I may have to wait to do that. I may have to do it on a big camera. Wait a minute. I don't have enough room over here. You're going to take it and you're going to roll the top down. You're going to roll the top down. I'm trying to get it where y'all can see it. Roll the top down like that. Might even want to roll it down twice. It's okay, baby. That's Mommy making that noise. My dog thinks somebody's making noise. It's me doing it with this bag. Okay, so now we've rolled the top down, and then we are going to gather the top like that and twist it. But now first we got one more thing to do before we twist it and make our bag. We got to put our string on. So now I'm going back to the craft camera to put the string on. Okay, so my only string I could find in my house, and what did I do with my string? I laid it somewhere. Oh, the only string I could find in my house was, I have some of this like shoestring stuff here. So I'm going to use that. So what I'm going to do, and what you do is I'm going to cut a little slit in the side of the bag. Just like that. And I'm going to stick my string through. And then I'm going to lay it down flat, and I'm going to tape it inside there. Now I don't think I can show you taping inside there because I got my hands in there. Hang on just a minute. Can you see? See, I put a piece of tape on it. Just laid it flat, put a piece of tape on it. Now I'm going to put a couple pieces of tape on it because I don't want it to go anywhere. I want it to hang on in there. So I'm going to tape it all the way down so that it doesn't come back out. And then I'm going to tape kind of the hole over so it can't slide back out the hole. So then I've taped it down in there. See? Now, you're going to do that same thing on the other side, because you're making the handle for your water bag. Because Abraham sent Hagar into the desert with a water bag, so we're going to make a water bag. We're making all this stuff, and then we're going to recreate the story using all of our props. So I'm going to put my string through there and lay it flat. Not that far. Just need a little bit of string in there. And then I'm going to tape it down. We're going to play pretend with telling our story today once we get all our stuff made. So I've showed you how to make the bush, I showed you how to make the well, and I'm showing you how to make the water bag. Okay, so let me switch back over to this camera because I want to hold it up and show you. So now I've got my bag. So I'm going to take my top again, and I'm going to pinch it together and twist it. And then open it back up a little bit so it looks like at the top of a bag. And there is my water bag made out of leather or skin. And she would have put it over her shoulder and taken off in the desert with her water bag over her shoulder. So here's our water bag. All right. Now let's go back over here. Sorry, back and forth, but we got lots of stuff to do today. Okay, so let me lay that out of the way. So let's get our desert back out. And I'm going to put some more flour in my desert. So I've got sand all over my desert now. Now, if you have a real sand at home, you could use real sand. You could use cornmeal, flour. I happen to have some flour in the freezer, so that's what I'm making my sand out of. And I'm going to smooth my sand out a little bit. And I'm going to put my well over here in the corner. Now, this is kind of tight. I know that it probably needs to be a little bit bigger, but I didn't have room for anything bigger here on my table so I could show you all of the stuff. So we're going to act out the story with all of our pieces. Now, you could make this more interesting, and if you wanted to, I didn't have time to do it today, I would have done it. You could take like little craft sticks and make your people. You could take a craft stick and draw a circle for the head and then a triangle for the clothing and put it on, and make a tall one for Hagar and a shorter one for Ishmael. And you could walk them through the desert. Today we're just going to use our fingers and walk through the desert because we're going to retell the story using all of our pieces. So the first thing that happened was Sarah wanted Hagar and Ishmael sent away. And Abraham didn't want to send them away because he loved them. He was his son. So he gave her food and water. So she put the water bag over her shoulder. And they started walking through the desert. It was hot. Can you see my fingers? Where's my... Ah! I don't have enough room. Okay. It was hot in the desert. So they're walking through the desert. They're walking along through the desert with their water bag over their shoulder. And they get hot and they get thirsty. So they stop and drink water. And all of a sudden, they walked really deeply into the desert. And there's no water left. They're out of water. And Hagar thinks, we're going to die in this desert. It is so hot in here. My child is going to die and I can't bear to watch. So she takes Hagar over and lays him down under a bush. And here's our bush. And she lays Hagar down. Now, like I said, if you wanted to make little people out of popsicle sticks, you could do that and to act out this story with. So she lays him down under the bush. And she goes off over here about a few feet, several feet away from him, because she says, I don't think I can stand to watch my child die in the desert of thirst. So she's sitting over here away from him, thinking, I can't stand to watch him die. And she's crying and she's upset. And all of a sudden the angel says, Hagar, why are you crying? God sees you. And the angel opened up Hagar's eyes, and what did she see? A well of fresh water. So she brings her child over. They get a drink, and they fill up their bag. So we're going to fill up our bag with water. Now our bag has water in it, and we can make our way on through the desert. So God said to Hagar, I see you. You're going to be okay. I'm going to make a nation out of your son, and everything's going to be okay. And so that is our little craft for today. Let me pop back over here. We made our water bag, and inside we have our water in our water bag. We have our desert. Oops, wrong one. We have our desert with the bush that Hagar laid Ishmael under, and the well of water. Now, if you wanted to make this smaller, you could probably make your well about half that size. You could even make your bush smaller, but we acted out our story with our craft today. And like I said, you could take popsicle sticks, put a face on it, draw a triangle for the clothing, and walk them through the desert. I just used my fingers and pretend to walk through the desert in our story today because we'd already made our bag and our water and our bush and our well. I didn't think that I needed to throw much more at you, but you could do it that way. So here's our water bag full of water. And our desert where God saw Hagar crying and took care of them. So I'm going to move things around again. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put the Be Right Back screen on because I have to move you guys around again. I got to get my desert moved out of the way so I can read the book. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave the camera. I'm going to leave the mic over here because I'm going to read you the book. I was afraid there wouldn't be time for the book, so I wanted to do the craft first. But remember, to make the water, you can use tissue paper, cut up blue paper. I cut up construction paper, colored paper towels. You could use little cotton balls that are blue. I had some of those in my craft stuff just to make your water with. Or if you don't want to go to all that trouble, tissue paper in a baggie, a piece of tissue paper in your well. But it's very easy to make this and reenact this story about Hagar and Ishmael in the desert. So let's read our book now that we have time. I'm pretty sure we have time to read our book. I'm going to put you on the craft cam so I can show the book to you. This is called Tink Trusts God, and it's a faith-filled story for children. It is by Dawn Hand. She wrote the book. Doesn't tell me who illustrated, so I'm guessing she did everything, the book and the illustrations. Let me get this where we can make sure we can see. Okay. Now meet Tink. This is his family. Jordan, Tink, Moho, Buddy, Lucy, Noelle, and Harley. These are all Tink's family. Tink was born on October 16, 2023. She was the smallest puppy in the litter of 8. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Okay. Her brothers and sisters are Liberty, Champ, Ranger, Jolene, Goose, Maverick, and Rooster. Now that's funny because they gave me different people over here, didn't they? Oh, I see. That was the family puppy she was born with. Sorry, I got lost in my story. That's the brothers and sisters she was born with. The ones on the front page was the family she ended up with. Got it. Got it straight now, Miss Bev. They played and ate and enjoyed the outdoors, and as they grew, they all went to live with their own families. See, I could have figured it out if I'd stayed with it, wouldn't I? Tink now lives on a sunny farm with her dog sisters Harley, Noelle, and Lucy, and her cat brothers Buddy and Moho. They love to run through the tall grass and chase butterflies. Every day feels safe and happy with Jordan, the girl who loves them all. Each morning, Jordan opens the door and calls, "Good morning, friends!" Tink wags her tail and runs to greet her. The others follow, Harley trotting proudly, Noelle smiling softly, and Lucy bouncing with joy. It's a good day, a gift from God. Jordan walks the dogs through the pasture, watching them explore and experience the smells from the night before. Tink always enjoys these special moments. Tink especially enjoys swimming in the tank afterward. Everyone thanks God for the new day. But one afternoon, while Jordan is at school, clouds roll in. The wind rushes through the trees. Harley's ears perk up. Lucy stops chasing her tail. Buddy and Moho leap onto the hay and glance at the sky. Look, there's lightning. The first clap of thunder booms across the field. "Quick, everyone, get to the barn," yells Tink, trembling as the storm draws near. Buddy and Moho dart into the hayloft. "We can wait the storm out here," said Harley. "I wish Jordan was with us," said Noel. The rain is loud and the thunder shakes the ground, and then Tink remembers what Jordan's mom always says: "When you're scared, talk to God. He's always near," and as the animals pray, the storm starts to ease. Tink prays, "God, please help us be brave." Can't see what I'm doing. Sorry, the leaves are in my lap. "Please help us be brave. Please take care of our family until Jordan comes home. Please give us peace in our hearts." Little by little, the animals felt calm again, safe in God's care. After a while, the thunder grows quiet and the wind slows. The crowds begin to break apart and the air smells fresh and clean. As the rain stops, they come out of the barn to take in the smells of their farm, freshly washed by the rain. Playing happily in the fields, they wait for Jordan to come home from school. As the animal family makes their way back home to wait for Jordan, they see a rainbow in the distance, showing that God kept his promise. The rainbow is a sign that God will never again send rain to flood the earth. All of the animals arrive back in the yard in time to see the front gate creak open. "Jordan!" they all yell. After Jordan greets them all, they move back to the porch of the house, all except Jordan and Tink. As Jordan and Tink sit in the backyard, she tells Tink how brave she was. "God took care of you and me too," said Jordan. Tink licks Jordan's cheek. She knows that it's true. And there they are. There's the other animals sitting on the porch. And here's our theme, and I'm going to turn this around because I need to be able to. It says, when we feel afraid or unsure, Proverbs says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lead not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight." And here's Tink's thought. "Storms don't last forever, but God's love always does. When storms come fast and skies turn gray, God stays near, he'll light the way. With friends beside, we'll never fear, for God is close and always near." And that's our book. Got stuff sitting everywhere. Okay, hold on one second. Put you on the back screen and swap this microphone back around. I want you to be able to hear me good, so when I turn this way, I take the microphone over there, that way you can hear me. All right, we have time to go over our songs again, and then I'll have time to tell you what we're going to need for next week, and then we'll call it a night. Okay, so this week I called it a water bag and story scene, because we made the scene and we walked through the desert and pretended we put the little boy under the bush, pretended we found the well. It was a story scene and a water bag this week. I thought that would be interesting to make a scene so you could make it at home and tell the story to somebody else. Tell it to your brothers and sisters, to mom and dad, to grandma and grandpa. I wanted you to be able to tell that story with your props. So that's why we made our story scene today. Okay. So let's go over our songs again. We're going to do Hagar and Ishmael first. And let me grab me a drink of water because I have talked a lot and I'm thirsty. All right, here we go. I was worried we wouldn't have enough time, and I'm going to have plenty of time. So, okay, I've got flour all over me. All right, here we go. Under the blazing desert sun, a story of love had just begun. Hagar and Ishmael were walking far, guided by faith, a shining star. With a heavy heart, they stepped away, trusting God to show the way. In the heat, their water ran dry, but they knew he heard their cry. Lift your eyes to the sky so high. God is near, he'll never pass by. When you're lost and feel afraid, his love will shine, his path is made. An angel spoke with a voice so clear, do not worry, God is near. A well of water he provides, hope restored with hearts alive. Lift your eyes to the sky so high. God is near, he'll never pass by. When you're lost and feel afraid, his love will shine and show, his path is made. Through trials and tears, God will stay. He guides your steps, come one day. Hagar and Ishmael learned that day, God's promises never fade away. So when the desert winds do blow, and where to turn you do not know, remember Hagar's faithful song, with God's love you'll always belong. Lift your eyes to the sky so high. God is near, he'll never pass by. When you're lost and feel afraid, his love will shine, his path is made. An angel spoke with a voice so clear, do not worry, God is near. A well of water he provides, hope restored with hearts alive. An angel spoke with a voice so clear. And that was Hagar and Ishmael's journey. Now we're going to do He is Elroy. Remember I told you the story about Hagar going out into the desert once before because her mistress was mean to her, and God told her to go back to her mistress, that he was going to make a great nation of the child that she carried, and that she was taken care of, and she said, you are the God who sees. And that's what Elroy means, the God who sees. So we're going to sing our song Elroy, and remember the word is Elroy, E-L-R-O-I, and it's pronounced Elroy. It sounds that way, but it's a Hebrew word that means the God who sees. He is Elroy, he is Elroy, the God who sees, the God who sees. He is Elroy, he is Elroy, the God who sees, the God who sees. He saw Hagar crying in the desert. He saw Jacob when love had lied. He saw Joseph down inside the pit, and Hannah when she prayed and cried. He is Elroy, he is Elroy, the God who sees, the God who sees. He is Elroy, he is Elroy, the God who sees, the God who sees. He heard Bartimaeus call for mercy. He wept with Mary and Martha too. He saw the good works of Cornelius. He sees me and he sees you. Every tear and every prayer God will always see and care. Every heart and every need, he is Elroy, yes indeed. He is Elroy, he is Elroy, the God who sees, the God who sees. He is Elroy, he is Elroy, the God who sees, the God who sees. I'm so grateful that we have a God who sees us. No matter what's going on in our lives, no matter what the situation, God sees us. Before I say goodbye, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. This was Kidz Korner Summer Edition, Story Hour, brought to you by the Somerset First United Methodist Church's virtual campus. We will continue again next week. We will go until July 21st is our last one. I'm pretty sure that date's right. Let me check my paper and make sure I didn't tell you the wrong date. July 21st, is that right? Yes, July 21st is the last one we're going to do. So here's what you're going to need for next week. Now, we're not making it as an involved one next week as we do this week. I got really into this, doing the desert scene and working out all these things. I thought that was really cute. Oscar said, God saw me when I was scared and he sent the bacon lady to save me from storms and the heat and the cold. That's precious. Yes, you did. You saved Oscar from the heat and the storms. Just a minute. My little baby, my doggie wants me to pick her up. Oop, come here. Here's my baby. This is Roxanne. Say hello, Roxanne. Say hello, Roxanne. Yeah, hello. Yeah, this is Roxanne. Let me put you down. I can't finish with you in my lap. You got to get in. Whoa. There you go. I can't sit and hold her and do this. She wants me to sit and hold her. Okay, so here's what you're going to need next week. You're going to need construction paper in blue, black, and green. You're going to need a small paper plate. If you don't have a paper plate, you can just cut a circle out of white construction paper or a white piece of paper. Yeah, she made me pick her up. She came up and put her feet up on me like, pick me up, please. Sorry, I got lost. Construction paper, blue, black, green, a small paper plate or white construction paper to cut a circle out with. I like the small paper plate because I get a pretty much perfect circle. You know I can't cut straight. Pipe cleaner, you can use any color you want, but we're going to be making a ram, so it's going to be its horns. The pipe cleaner is going to make its ram's horns. So if it doesn't matter to you what color, you can use whatever color you want. I think I've got some browns maybe I'm going to use, or a black maybe. I'll have to see what I've got over there in my craft supplies. But a pipe cleaner, we're going to make it curly for the ram's horns. Cotton balls for the body of it. Googly eyes. If you don't have googly eyes, you can always just draw the eyes on. So don't panic if you don't have them, but that makes it cute if you've got the little googly eyes. Scissors, pencil, glue, tape, and markers. So I'll read all that again. Construction paper in blue, black, and green. White if you don't have a small paper plate. A small paper plate. Pipe cleaner to make the horns with. Cotton balls, googly eyes, scissors, pencil, glue, tape, and markers. So that's what we're going to make next week. We're going to make a ram. I hope you join me again next week, and I hope you enjoyed our story time. See all my stuff I got laying back there. I laid it all back there in the way. I hope you enjoyed our story time and our craft time and our songs and our book, and that you'll come back again and join me again next week. So as I always say, and let me see if I can remember what I'm supposed to be doing here. There's lots of buttons to push. Love to all, be safe, and be kind to one another. This is Miss Bell from Somerset First United Methodist Church's virtual campus, Kidz Korner Story Hour. See you guys next week.